The blood surged to my fingertips, tingling like electricity, as I held the sleek keycard to my own hotel. I could feel every pulse of anger and anticipation mixed together while I watched Miranda Hayes block the entrance, that smug expression on her face sharpening the insult. From deep inside, the grand lobby of the Celeste resonated with my father Richard's booming laughter, echoing off the marble and crystal chandeliers I had personally chosen. And there I was, standing outside as if I were nothing more than an uninvited guest. "You can't seriously think you're coming in," Miranda said, her voice dropping to that deliberately condescending whisper I had known since childhood. She adjusted the designer dress she always loved to flaunt. I recognized it immediately, a knockoff, of course, from the preliminary sketches one of my designer friends had shown me just last week over lunch. She planted herself firmly in the doorway. "This is the Celeste, Vivian. The tasting menu alone costs more than you make in a month." If only she knew I had personally crafted that menu with Isabelle Renaud, our Michelin-starred chef. And yes, he was my father too. I squared my shoulders, letting my voice carry steadier than I had expected. "I'm Vivian Cole. I'm 40. And I run Azure Hospitality Group." It's a small envelope in my clutch, containing the deed to a private villa in Valdora. One of the Celeste's most exclusive properties suddenly felt weighty in my hand. This was more than a gift, was proof. Proof that I had carved my path in the world while they had doubted me every step of the way. Catherine, my mother, appeared behind Miranda, her sharp eyes narrowing as they swept over me. "What are you doing here?" "We discussed this." No, they had discussed it. I'd received a text from my mother that morning. "Don't come to Dad's birthday. It's at the Celeste. You can't afford it. Don't embarrass us." I held up the envelope. "I brought a gift." Miranda laughed, that high-pitched sound that had always made my skin crawl. "Oh, what is it? A gift card to Olive Garden? Or did you scrape together enough tips from your little restaurant job to buy him something from the mall?" My mother's eyes narrowed at my clutch. A simple, handmade Italian leather piece, far more valuable than Miranda's car. "Whatever it is," she said, "I'm sure your sister's gift is more appropriate. She just made junior partner at her firm, you know?" I smiled faintly to myself. Yes, I knew every detail of her life, every transaction, every office lease she was desperate for but couldn't quite afford. My real estate division had sent me the reports just yesterday. Miranda beamed, clearly enjoying the moment. "New house, luxury car, wonderful fiancé with such prospects," Catherine continued, warming to her favorite topic. And then, with a critical glance at me and you, "Well, at least you're trying, I suppose." I considered my penthouse overlooking Riverside Heights. It's my collection of rare sports cars, the private jet I had flown in on that morning. "Yes, Mother." "At least I'm trying," I said. Voice calm, measured, Miranda smirked. "That dress. Couldn't you have made more of an effort? This is the Celeste, not some roadside diner." I ran my hand over the black silk. Custom-made by one of Paris's most exclusive designers, the same one who had refused Miranda last month. "It's what I could manage," I said mildly. "Well, you can't come in," Miranda declared, stepping back as if preparing to physically bar me. "The VIP floor is reserved for family and distinguished guests only." The VIP floor, my VIP floor. The one I had redesigned down to the last crystal chandelier and hand-selected artwork. "And the distinguished guests are?" I asked, genuinely curious. "Oh, you wouldn't know them," Catherine said dismissively. "Julian Pierce, the Andersons, the Montgomerys, and Victor Langley. All very important people." I suppressed a smile. Julian Pierce leased 3 of my properties. The Montgomerys had begged for membership at my most exclusive resort. And Victor Langley. His bank was negotiating a major loan with my investment group. "Very important," I said evenly. "Yes," Miranda replied, clearly pleased I understood my place. So you see why you can't be here? What would people think if they knew Dad's failure of a daughter was serving their drinks? Catherine's eyes flickered with something that could almost be mistaken for approval. Be nice. Vivian made her choices. If she'd stayed with a family firm like you did, things would be different. I knew exactly how different. The family firm barely made rent, occupying a modest office in one of my buildings. Reports came to me monthly. Just then, Derek Hayes appeared, straightening his tie. What's taking so long? Everyone's waiting for. He spotted me and froze. Vivian. Didn't expect to see you here. Clearly not, I said. Derek had just been promoted to junior vice president at his bank. Though my mother proudly claimed vice president. Miranda snapped. Well, it's more impressive than whatever you're doing. Assistant manager at a chain restaurant, right? I let the words hang as I recalled the board meeting I had left earlier that day, where we discussed acquiring the very bank Derek worked for. Something like that, I said mildly. This is ridiculous, Catherine exclaimed. Vivian, just go. You're making a scene. I'll tell your father you couldn't make it. Couldn't afford it. Miranda added with laughter. I looked past them. At the lobby I had built from scratch, the marble, the crystal, the artwork all mine. For a moment, I considered walking away. Let them have their party. Let them believe what they wanted. But then I remembered my first mentor's words. Success means nothing if you can't stand up for yourself. My jaw tightened. I straightened my shoulders. My fingers stopped tingling, calm clarity washing over me. Actually, I said quietly, I think I'll stay. Before Catherine could respond, Lucas Grant, my head of security, stepped out. Loyal, calm, professional. Everything all right here, Madam CEO. The usual table is ready, he added. Chef Isabelle Renaud held the menu, tasting for my approval. The silence that followed was deafening. Miranda's mouth fell open, lipstick suddenly garish. Catherine gripped the brass door handle for support. I smiled warmly. Perfect timing. My family was just explaining how I couldn't afford to dine here. Lucas looked confused. But you own the entire hotel chain. Yes, I do. I turned to my stunned family. Shall we go inside? I believe you've reserved the VIP floor. My VIP floor, to be precise. Derek was the first to speak. This is a joke. You're just a restaurant manager. Actually, Lucas interjected professionally. Miss Vivian Cole is the founder and CEO of Azure Hospitality Group. She owns all 35 Celeste hotels worldwide. Along with our resorts and restaurants, Miranda's designer clutch slipped from her fingers. Clattering against the marble, I stepped past them into the lobby. Staff immediately straightening at attention. Good evening, Miss Cole, called the front desk manager. The executive suite is prepared for your father's birthday celebration. Thank you. Rachel, I said. Every staff member greeted me by name. Showing respect earned through years of hands-on leadership. Finally, Catherine managed, her voice tight. Your dress. I let her admire the black Parisian silk. Approximately $30,000. Thank you. We entered the private elevator, leading directly to the VIP lounge where my father's birthday was underway. The room fell silent. Richard Cole stood at the head table, shock and confusion etched across his face. What are you doing here? Your mother said you couldn't afford it. Happy birthday, Father, I said smoothly, walking to him. I hope you don't mind that I crashed the party in my own hotel. Victor Langley stepped forward, relief breaking his features. Miss Cole. I had no idea you were related to Richard Cole. We've been trying to secure a meeting for months about that loan. I smiled. Vivian owns the Celeste. Julian Pierce joined in. My God. Your daughter is the mysterious CEO buying prime real estate across the city. Richard sank into his chair, color draining. Why didn't you tell us? Catherine demanded, clutching her pearls. Would you have believed me? I asked softly. You didn't believe me 10 years ago. Why share my success now? By their outdated metric, I was worth more than everyone in the room combined. Miranda collapsed into a chair. As I glanced at the villa in Valdora I had tried to rent last summer. Mine, everything aligned. Office leases. Resort memberships, all tied to my accomplishments. I held up my hand to stop my father. I did not reveal this to hurt you. I did it because I'm tired of hiding my success to spare your pride. Please enjoy the party. Everything is on the house. And father? I handed him the envelope. The deed to a villa in Valdora. Consider it a birthday gift from your failure of a daughter. The next hour was surreal. Business inquiries flooded in. The Blackwoods practically begged for resort membership. Mr. Langley cornered me about loans. My family sat in stunned silence. I left my father alone on the terrace. Those buildings. How many do you own? Enough, I said, including the family firm's building. Richard nodded slowly. I was wrong about you, Vivian. So terribly wrong. Respect, father. That's what matters, I said. Not forgiveness, respect. Tonight, I finally claimed my seat at the table.